Welcome back to another new edition of Egypt's Parliament, and as usual we're going to continue to unfold this week's activities that are situated inside the Parliament. We're very delighted to have with us in this episode Dr. Ayman Abu Layla, Member of Parliament and in particular Member of the Health Committee, and he has other titles.
Vice President of the Health Committee.
Vice President of the Health Committee, and it's our pleasure, sir. Where would you like to start first? You are a Vice President for the Health Committee. The health file, in particular, is one of the most or the thorniest issues on the political and economic circles, I mean, in the lives of Egyptians. It was also has been there in the same situation for years and years, ever since the time of Mubarak. And we haven't taken any steps further. Why is that?
After being the Constitution of 2014, it's very important to know that the article in the Constitution said the right of health. It's not of medical health or health care, it's the right of health. The right of health itself proceed to industrial health, environmental health, governmental health, all the type of health, not only the health care, because the health care is treatment and prevention of the diseases. But you know that the environment now need to have the right, the population have the right of the industrial health, of the environmental health, because it's very important to know. As example, I just told you about a law which talk about the media and regulation of the media to the health product and the health service.
You mean promoting for those those health
have
products?
To be regulated, because you know on the TV show there is a lot of things completely wrong, and the people get trust of this element, service or equipment or nothing, which is not medical at all. Thus, we have to prevent those articles to reach the population. Thus, we make a law that there is a committee which judge whether this is product or service is licensed, FDA applied. All this have to be regulated through, because people just look to the TV or the paper or on the
it's everywhere in the world,
on the bus. To see this product, and it's wrong, completely wrong to use it. This is why it's very important to know that this regulation will make a penalty, a big penalty for the channel or the people who present this service. The old law is searching for make a penalty on, which is very difficult. Thus we have to follow the people who present this service or this product. This is a very important law which is talking about the right of health, not of health care. Talking about health care, we are actually in a big problem about drugs, medications. Now, after the change of prices of the Egyptian pound, it was a very strong stress on our committee to resolve the relation between the patient and the product as a medical product, because this is the only thing which is already priced by the government. Thus we have now all the manufacturers said, you give me a price, the end product price, and now this is not enough to make the product. How I can use it.
Right. We are going to delve in detail about the raise or the hikes in drugs prices that was announced earlier, 2 days or yesterday, or throughout this month, I mean, last month in 2016. So, but before we delve into that, let's continue with this new excellent project or the law that you presented to the Parliament that controls the promoting for health services and health drugs and different of medicine and maybe also herbs that are dealt with.
Even doctors and centers. You see in the street now when you go, a center for a beauty center which is dealing as a doctor.
And practitioners.
And practitioners.
Nutritionists.
You are right.
I mean, they all fall into.
This is have to be regulated by this law, and he will present a service not legalized, have to go in prison immediately. and to pay a big penalty. It's very important now to, and it is told in the end of this Article 18 that our government have to regulate this media. In the end of the product 18 in the Constitution, the item 18 in the Constitution about the health, that the government has to regulate all the medical services and products about the media.
But Dr. Abu Laila, do you believe that there are certain channels, exclusive channels, to be able to promote for those services? I mean, one way or another, they have to be shut.
You can open your dish and you see all the channels, the film channels, you see strips.
It's owned by people, owners of some companies.
This is
herbs,
why you have.
I mean, in particular, herbs.
You have to follow the announcer, not to follow the channel only. You have to make a penalty on the channel and to make a penalty also of the doctor who announced that he can treat falling of hair or the vertebral colon treatment or dieting. There is powders for dieting 90 days in 90
and dangerous, grave side effects for these products.
It makes liver toxicity immediately.
Right, exactly. What about cheating the products? Cheating on, some of the seeds of the fruits and, that type of fraud in this business. Do you also monitor that? I mean,
yes.
The food, yes. the food market.
Now in the parliament we have a law. It's like the FDA, Food and Drug Administrator in the United States. They divided our law. Food administration. Now we finished already the food administration, which regulate all the food presented for people through a committee for inspection, for giving license, for everything for this product. That we finished. But we unfortunately divided drug administration and food administration. We are proceeding in the drug administration also. That's what we are doing now. And there is 4 laws presented about Egyptian drug administration. Important to regulate all the medicine, the prices of medicine, the price of medication, but the law is under control now.
But regulating the quality of food and the types of food, and if it's not, if it's good to be eaten or good to be consumed or no, is the task of the veterinary medical department, to my belief. So how is it going? There is going to be a clash.
Yes.
Who is going to be supervised? He has to be specialized also.
Yes, they will be specialized in not only veterinarian, but also the lab consistence of vegetables. This is why this committee or this administration will have all the organizations which regulate food. And this is finished already by the parliament last week. If you can return back, the law is finished and there is transient period for 6 months for all those organizations to be collected in one administration to regulate all the food. Because, for a child, if you have a child, you can say a biscuits or some chocolate.
Could be expired, yes. For example.
This is why if you have no license from this administration, will not be interfering in the product in our market.
Well, I could have the license, but I could have the products inside my shop,
regulating the manufacturer.
In my market that is expired. So I would need an inspection campaigns to come and, bust these things that are.
This is also set by the law.
Expired.
Yes. This is set
Who's
by
going
the
to
law.
inspect? I mean, who is going to be in charge instead of the veterinary medical department?
Like the medication, you have to go and to inspect the steps of manufacturing, and the product, and the product in the market. That you have to regulate every step since it's manufactured, since it's raw material till it's being and the product, and after entering the marketing have to be inspected too. I think this law. We are waiting for the law of drugs. The drug administration. Maybe after a while, it will be a food and drug administration in one community. But till now, there is a food administration, and we are on the verge to finish the law of the drug administration.
Drug Administration, does that fall into inspecting or monitoring or regulating by any means the drugs prices?
Yes.
Because they're, I mean, associated with the government's decision lately to raise the prices of medicine everywhere in Egypt, which some people find it unfair. There is also something that is going parallel, which is the monopoly of some types of medicine that could be vital for some Egyptians, low-income brackets.
I understand
They
this.
keep it and then they present it again for higher prices.
I want to say that we need a law which we have a Supreme Council for the health, all the health. Make the political and organizations about all the health care, health products and health care. Under this Supreme Council, which draw all the political and strategical and designing the product, because no way that the Ministry of Health present the service and regulate the service and finalize the service and present this service to the people. Thus, you have the health minister in anywhere just make the political regulator between all forms of health care. Thus, we need a Supreme Council, make all the organization, and under this council will be the Food and Drug Administration. It will be the medical insurance part, which is the health, medical, social medical insurance, which is a dream for all Egyptians now. We proceed, but we need further some steps to reach this health medical insurance. First, to have a primary care doctors with a specialized, like we said, a family doctor or care doctor, because he is the key of the medical insurance. Have to be trained. We need to, everything, every step in the health have to be automated by codes, whether service or medicine or providers. And definitely the insurers, the people themselves, have to be automated first. Third, you have to finalize, finalizing for many years this plan of social medical insurance. Fourth, you have to have a good understructure for hospitals which present the service. All this we are running parallel together to reach this point. Definitely, we have no enough money to present all the social medical insurance, but we start with a committee which is interfering hospitals, all type of hospital to be coalesced in one coagulation to present the service, the good service for medical insurance. We have to make a diploma for the health care or the primary care doctor. We have to start automated the system of all the health service. We are running in parallel on this to reach the dream of the Egyptian of the medical social health insurance.
Going parallel with the health insurance program, which is supposed to be effected, direly, immediately.
We'll dissolve all the problems.
Right, because people would think, wait a minute, we are paying, we are abiding, we are complying with the new laws, with the taxes laws, the value-added tax and other types of taxes, but still we are awaiting at least our least common request, which is a fair file or a fair health program. We're not receiving any. One of them is the health insurance. What about the public hospitals? Monitoring the public hospitals, monitoring the violations inside them, the negligence cases, how practitioners function inside this. All that is related with public hospitals. Are you people, members of parliament, satisfied with the situation inside public
Not at all. Not at all.
hospitals? And have you been busy lately with your hands full? Maybe preparing some kind of formulas to be able to effect some quick changes inside public hospitals?
Definitely the hospital is not functioning good about the personnel, about the equipment, about the structure.
Equipment is one of the problems also.
We have to start first by a plan through a committee related to the hospitals only, to have a special finances, separate finances, to build up hospitals and to see by whether we need. As example, we have You have listened last week about 370 hospitals just empty, no service, which called مستشفيات التكامل. Those.
Is it outside Cairo?
No, outside Cairo, but there is in Giza, there is in Qalioubiya, there is in many places.
So it's still within the premises. I mean, what about the rural areas and informal settlements?
These are exactly in the rural area. It's a transition.
There are
it's
lots
completely empty. There is nothing inside. There is no staff. It's completely empty. You have
no staff, no equipment, nothing.
It's just a building, which is built since 1998 and empty till now. And it's not dissolved. You have to interfere in this. You have to start because it's definitely inside the rural area. That you need it as a nucleus for the medical insurance, and you need it to present a primary care service, a small service, I mean, which is primary care, like a small operating theater. You need a small beds, 25, 50 beds maximum, and a small staff. Thus, you need this to finish too. That's it's a big problem. All these problems need finances. And we tried in this to make the constitutional rules for the healthcare about 3% of the income of the Egyptian. Thus, in the same time, we need plan and money. This is health.
Like everything else.
Like everything else.
So
thus, we are trying to start by a plan to regulate all the hospital inside the whole country, Egypt-wide.
But there are certain cases, certain diseases that need urgent intervention. I mean, like some disease that are threatening children's health, kids' health, for example. Some chronic disease that are affecting Egyptians' health and need urgent intervention. I mean, those types of cases, I don't think that they would be waiting
Fortunately, we have no very now strategic endemic disease present in Egypt except the virus C, which is now we start by very good deals to manipulate it, and now we'll finish. The 2020 will finish this. The other endemic disease which is present, it's very important to know that talking about the prevention way. You have to plan about vaccines, about how to prevent happening of the disease. But actually, we have no endemic diseases present for our children, not covered. We hope there is something called Haemophilus influenza, which is make in weak children or weak child with 2-3 months make a lot of death in this age. We need to introduce, but it's very costly to manipulate to introduce this vaccine. But we are on the verge also to include this vaccine. Vaccination is prevention way. The other way is good health and good manipulation of health of the mother and the child, because at one time since 5 years, very nearby, 50% of your childhood below 5 years have anemia. It's not suitable. They start now to increase the amount of food for the mother and for the child.
Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said during a cabinet meeting that the supply of medicines must be increased to end the country's ongoing shortage. Al-Sisi said that the government should ensure the availability of various types of medicines at affordable prices, as well as provide imported drugs that have no domestic alternatives. Egypt has been facing difficulties in importing medicine and components used in domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing. Manufacturers have said the retail price of medicines needs to be raised so that they don't incur losses. Health Minister Ahmed Ahmed al-Din said the ministry's plan to overcome the medicine shortage. The minister added to resolve the issue, in the short term, the ministry will increase prices and overcome shortages in the medium term by developing state-owned pharmaceutical factories, and in the long term by expanding the pharmaceutical industry in Egypt. Al-Sisi urged the government to improve healthcare services, develop the local pharmaceutical industry, and increase its competitiveness and work to attract new investments. Spokesperson of the presidency Ala Youssef said that during the meeting, Sisi was updated with the government's efforts regarding the development of the healthcare system, especially providing medications during the price increases due to the liberalization of the Egyptian pound. The medicines subject to the increase will not exceed 15% of the local medicines and 20% of imported medicines. It is divided into 3 segments, with a minimum increase of 30% and a maximum of 50%.
Raised very important fronts. I mean, you talked about certain disease like anemia, for example, that threatens or attacks kids below a certain age, and certain Egyptians also being attacked by certain viruses, endemic viruses. Of course, mentioning all those difficulties, you can never be able to effect any kind of change or effect any kind of development only by yourself. You need to do that with the assistance and collaboration of other sectors in society. I mean, other ministries, other societies, maybe civil societies. I mean, how are you planning? What is your plan to be able to effect a very successful project, to be able to effect real change on those fronts that you mentioned?
As example, in the rural area, we talk about the hospital of Takamul, which is, I said, that's completely empty. We need really the community to interfere on this, even the private sector or the NGOs, because we need this help, because the government have no money to present 30 or 40 million for each hospital to be built, and to present even economic health care by economic low prices, I mean. This is why I told you that we need all, not only the financial minister or the economic minister or the planning minister, no, we need all the NGOs and societies to interfere on this, because no investor will be interested to go in a rural area to invest 30, 40 million. This is why I need collaboration by the NGOs in the country, the government itself.
Usually when someone is assigned by effecting any type of development in that particular file or front, they try to borrow some successful experiences from worldwide or study other experiences. There are health programs, successful health programs that are listed or stated outside Egypt that have taken us successful experiences everywhere in the world. Have it crossed your mind to be able
Definitely,
to,
we have set a lot of time.
Which do you think could be best taken as an example to be applied in Egypt? If you'd like to elaborate on this.
We have a special case actually in Egypt here.
A very special.
Yes, very special. Not because the laws. We are used not to respect the law. We are used not to respect presence in the place we work, because you are not good paid. I mean, you find many hospitals without doctors, or the doctor is not present because he just going for a private sector, not going to the governmental sector. That's the problem. You cannot make a copy paste of some experiment in Spain or Brazil or Canada or United Kingdom or wherever. Copy paste, you cannot, because you have to be on the ground here by our not neglection of laws, but also to know the habit of the Egyptian patient, which is used to ask the pharmacist first before going to the doctor. Thus, we have to regulate this drug administration without prescriptions. This is the first law. You have to do it, and this is not there. There, you cannot do anything except supplements for food without prescription. Thus, you need a prescription. You need also to change the mind of the doctor that you have to be well paid in the government to be present in the government, not working except on the government. And on the same time, we need a Supreme Council for Health to regulate all this system together.
Right. Dr. Obelaila, usually in the West, sometimes a health insurance program would cover up any political failure for a president or an economic failure, any type of failure inside his administration. Let's take, for example, President Obama. He effected the Obamacare and other presidents before, and in England and everywhere. We're not going to invent the wheel. There are certain schools for health insurance programs that could be applied and could be applied with transparency, monitored officially, and could effect some change, even with the difficulties on the ground. If you like to elaborate.
As I told you, sustainability of the finances of the social health insurance, because everybody will be covered by this insurance.
But they pay taxes.
No, it's not a matter of taxes. You have, it's not a matter of, first, nowadays, we have a health insurance, which on the paper...
Do we have a health insurance program?
On the paper covering 54 million Egyptians. There is 12 million below the age of school. There is 20 million in the schools and undergraduate and aftergraduate. We have 6.5 million employee. We have 4 million after age of employee retired. All those people are already now in the health insurance program.
Out of 100 million?
Yes, okay, that's good. But whether they are treated good or not,
that's another problem, which is the core.
No way, because you are paying for them 8.5 million, and actuarial you need for them 90 million. That you have to pay for those people 90 million, and you are paying for them 8.5 million. How to
that balance?
How to wait from them to present a good service? That's sustainability of the finances. You need for those 92 million nowadays, you need 200 million every year to cover a good health insurance.
200 billion.
Yes. You are waiting for what? Sustainability for 4 years to know that 200 this year, the other year, you have to be sure that this finances will be. Otherwise, don't start. Because it's a great problem to start a program and then stop. Why this? You are collecting some fees from everyone in front of this insurance. You have to pay a lot of people cannot pay this amount, 4% of all the income. There is no people can.
That's another important point.
Yes, you have to pay for them, and you have to collect some. We call in the insurance co-payment. You pay £5 for each box of medicine, example, or for each consultation you pay £10 instead of 150. This is collect money, yes, but this actuarial have to be regulated. To whom the government will pay, because now there is a debate between you will pay for people who are taking less than 1,200. Or you are paying for poor people only as an example, that we have to be fixed on this. Don't forget that we start already a law for medical insurance for agriculture. It didn't work because they don't know the definition, who will be covered by this. Thus they have to be studied and to sustained finances present for many years. Thus I think that to start slow but sure is better to start like a spark of political spark to start medical insurance, because you have already medical insurance covering 54 million people. Okay, if you are presenting good, present good for those people first.
Right, but speaking generally about a good, fair, with equity, of course, health insurance plan, it has not been put for public or announced for everybody to know. According to the law or something, who would recognize that he has this right to health insurance? I mean, people under the poverty rate.
I think employee knows. Any employee in the government knows that he is insured. Maybe they don't use it because of bad service, maybe, but it's already improved. Nowadays, through you, I said that every student in the school or university, every population under 5 years is covered. Everybody have to know that. All the women, which is, I don't know the translation, mar'a mu'ila.
Supporting women.
Yes, support, are covered. Nobody knows this is a problem of the government. But
There is a health insurance program for supporting
yes,
women?
yes,
I mean, divorced supporting
yes,
women?
Yes.
Where can they acquire it?
I finished by myself. I presented in the 2012, and I finished by myself this.
Where can they go and acquire that
They can go
card?
first to present papers that they...
the state.
Yes, for the state they are taking, or go to present themselves as supported women. This is covered. And it's planned to be 5 million women. And they are paying only 12 pounds
12 pounds
per year.
for treatment.
Yes. And now the people under the age of the school, which is from 0 to 5 years, are covered in front of 25 pounds per year.
Okay, what other types of facilities have your committee affected with the hike in drugs prices? For example, infants' milk, some drugs for infants, supporting women who would like to acquire some drugs and medicine for their kids, for themselves.
We ask the
very poor people.
Yes, yes. We ask the Prime Minister to increase, especially after rising the prices of drugs, to increase the amount paid by the government for the people who cannot pay by this regulation, to cover also chronic diseases and health diseases for children. It's very important for poor people. It's very important to support those people. Thus, this is why we ask to adjust by 1 billion Egyptian pounds, those people prescription or prescribe for chronic diseases. And we said no way to increase any drug for treating chronic disease. This was a very quiet notification we give to the Prime Minister for when they try to increase the medicine. The second thing that we have to support our governmental industry, which is stopped nowadays for several years.
The drug industry.
Yes, the drug industry. They present only 4%.
But then you have to monitor the quality.
The quality
and
is the
professionality
quality.
of the manufacturer of it,
Monitoring
which
the
is
quality
very
of drug
important.
is not a joke, because you open the raw material by yourself from the administration of health. They open the raw material.
They inspect the raw material.
And they open it to make these tablets of batch number, whatever. That is not a joke. The problem itself is what's the plan to support those people? There was Kahira, Memphis, Seed, a lot of companies present 60% of the market. Nowadays it's 4% of the market. For whom's sake?
Why is that?
It's destruction of public bad management on purpose, for the sake of private sector, whatever you want to say.
For the sake of private sector could be one reason also. But also let's take the case of the unemployed. According to the economic crisis, the whole world is going. There is an economic crisis, no deny, here in Egypt, and President Sisi is trying to overcome it, and those who are assisting him patriotically, they're trying to overcome this economic crisis. But with the economic crisis, there is unemployment, there is the homeless. Usually, in the Western world, in the United States, for example, the homeless would have stamps, or they would have, again, another program for the health insurance for the homeless that is very effective. And it would qualify any administration, any political administration, any cabinet. So do you have any plans for the homeless and unemployed?
As I told you, if you are talking about social and medical insurance, they have to be covered by the government to pay for them the collection, or collect for them the fees or the premium, as we said, on the insurance. They will pay for them what amount?
But they could seek another updated or upgraded program.
Nowadays, we use for them something called قرارات على نفقة الدولة.
Issuing decrees to be able to treat them on the governmental experiences.
Yes, they go to the
expenses.
Yes, they go to the hospital. They make three doctors seeing them and make the diagnosis, and they
according to a report, you present it to whom?
No, to the computer of the hospital, which enter in serial, and they take immediate form.
That's very good.
Yes, it's present in now, but this is not a solution to, because you cannot regulate it, and to make, he have to present just a card, and to take his treatment like a medical insurance. But
where do they get the card?
Nowadays, it's through this regulation. They take a decision from the health
Ministry of Health.
Yes, to be treated on the site, on this site. But till now, we are hoping to introduce the social medical insurance. At that time.
But Dr. Abu Layla, let me interfere here. Do you remember how many times we have heard? Witnessed some cases of fraud and mismanagement concerning this particular of treatment charged by the government, because they could be misused by some government officials or doctor officials inside the ministries, and there were several scandals inside the Ministry of Health.
Now it's completely regulated. Some scandals have happened about the parliament since 10 years or something like that. This is not right. The right thing is three doctors make the diagnosis, going on the system, on the computer in the hospitals, without interfering of the parliamentarian or a minister or whatever. You have to be presented in front of three doctors, make the diagnosis, sign diagnosis, what he needs, operation, drugs, investigation, and then on the computer immediately interfere in, give him a code which is already priced, and present this code to the hospital where he will do the procedure.
In this public hospitals?
Yeah. This is now completely, yes, it's present. It's present without any interference.
So from where we stand here, you could announce to the citizens, the people who are homeless, the disabled, the unemployed, that they can do that easily.
Around 500 hospitals who present those regime to make this, if you are not insured.
If you are not
insured. It's not in the other program of 54
Okay, if there is
million.
no shortage. Yeah. But definitely there would be shortages because of the shortage in finance.
If you have a medical insurance, you are not be covered by this.
Okay. So if they don't, usually they don't have any medical insurance or anything on their hands.
They will be treated by this way.
Right. That's an important point, because this is one of the core responsibilities of the members of parliament. Yes. Other things they could await. Yes. One of the other things also is health awareness or medical awareness. You can never do that on your own as a committee inside the parliament or as the members of parliament. You should be doing this assisted by the government, assisted by the media like us, assisted by who else? I mean, how are you operating something like this? Medical awareness, health awareness, in order to avoid future crisis, medical crisis.
I will give you a very great example for virus C. If you are opening the tap and you close, you treated already every year around 200,000 personnel with virus C. But always you have a bad aware about using blades, using manicure, pedicure, dental medicine, or even shaving in a bad area which is not changing, not disposable. All this, you will not stop virus C. Medical awareness is very important to stop the disease or to prevent it. This is the way of how to have cooperation between the media, the government, and the NGOs.
NGOs are involved also.
Yes, yeah, definitely. This is why you have to regulate all this in one line. For awareness of special disease, especially those who are transferred through blood or others.
The blood transfusion also. But are you linked to some NGOs? I mean, is it official? How does it run?
I think this is work of the government to make a campaign, to make a campaign, and to be how to have a sponsor for this campaign. It's not our way. Just we ask, what are your plan for the prevention, included the medical awareness.
Right. I can imagine as a vice president for the health committee inside the parliament, you must be very, very busy, having your hands full with lots of complaints and lots of requests, and you have a hefty responsibility over your shoulder, you people in particular, and not any other committee, because that particular file have evoked two revolutions. The health file and the educational file, two revolutions have been evoked as a result of the failure in the health file and in the educational file. Tell us about the different challenges or different reservations do you take on that particular file ever since you set your feet inside this parliament, the 2016 parliament?
I think that, no, there is a difference, but also the problems for the last 50 years, not
accumulation.
30, yes. For the health and education are now very complicated and very interfere with each other.
Because it hasn't been rooted out.
I mean, you cannot, you are talking about this of medical awareness. If you are talking about an educated person, you're not...
it has to conform with the educational file.
Yes.
Right.
At the same time, you cannot educate a sick man. That is completely interfered together. This is first. The second, both for the complications happened with last 50 years, need a lot of money, which is we haven't. That we have to be mature enough to understand that you have to go slowly, but to make the maximum effort to interfere. It's not possible that you are talking that the doctor is taking now almost $100 per month.
100 Egyptian pounds.
Dollars.
If it was $100.
The maximum now, doctor is taking 2,000 pounds. It's not, if you are talking about outside, a person who told you, because he is taking this amount per hour. That's you are talking about, and you ask him to be educated, well-formed, up-to-date, have to read a lot of magazines and to make a lot of training.
Updated with all in the medical circles.
The problems are very complicated and need money. We are waiting step by step. First, the understructure to be built good, to make good doctors with maximum training possible, and to go through. But again, it's very complicated to dissolve in 1 year a problem in 50 years.
Dr. Abu Layla, can I tell you something, if you would allow me? Let's take, for example, a country like India, for example, one of the most densely populated countries in the world, the poorest also, under the line of poverty. But the ranking number one as medical doctors and medicine. There must be something, there must be a formula that they apply. I mean, the best the best health file is in India, or not health file, but at least medical doctors, calibers, medical education.
We have a lot of calibers. Listen about doctors, not to travel abroad only, but we have here, but again, don't ask me the person who take this amount can give or increase from himself. They are always searching for private sector to work on it, not making lab tests.
They need to make a living.
Yes. On the same time, no, we are on the caliber, educational, our universities of medicine, it's very super perfect. But again, practically wise, you have to proceed after a while to be updated. This also needs training and to give those people money. Again, about Kenya, it's not a problem of they are a good as a calibers, okay? No, all of them that already the government take the University of Medicine as a call to present those doctors. These are what we are trying to do. But again, what he will work after, this is a problem. Because also you have to send this doctor in a rural area, and to send this doctor without training, he's alone, he has a lot of work, thus you leave him. When he will be trained, this is a problem. We are planning now a training program for doctors
that's very good.
to be paid good during the training program, and at the same time this will change. And we need, as I told you, we need, for the medical health insurance, we need at least 35,000 doctors, primary care doctors. Why they don't go on this diploma? Because outside, they taken them in the medical insurance. Here, you hear about the GP doctor as a underscore doctor.
The general practitioner?
Yes. Although this is a diploma of GP, because he know how to transfer you and to treat you quite well. He's trained on this in all specification. That this is a diploma. We need this 30,000. Where are this? Because when he go in this diploma, after a while, when he finish, oh, I have lost 2-3 years of my life, and I'm GP till now. This is not. We have to make awareness that we need it on the market now. After 2-3 years, 30,000. He will be work a good salary. He will be a family doctor for the quarter in this government, and so on.
Well, it's very good to look over the welfare of doctors and medical practitioners and MDs and everything. But also on the other side, we find the malpractices and mistakes by some doctors, many doctors, that could be hazardous and fatal for patients and kill them. And they just leave without any account.
As all duties, I think. You find an engineering who fooled the monuments. You find a bad technician in electricity. You find a bad people in everywhere. But again, yes, the doctor needs to be trained, up-to-date. This I cannot deny this. But not all doctors making fatal mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when it happens, is there any
law
projects that are presented to be able to protect the consumer or the patient who is trusted that doctor, and then a mistake happens and then he loses his life, he loses part of his body or anything, and then they cannot hold him accountability?
But also there is other people who can destroy lives. A mechanic who make the brakes not good, or not only doctors, because threatening of life, this is, and we are dealing about health, this is somehow sensitive.
And they need also laws or regulations.
They need training, definitely. Yes.
That could be one of the topics also, or elements that could be taken.
It is present already, that you cannot be specialized after taking this amount of training. You will not be working in this specialty except taking this amount.
Pharmaceutical companies in Egypt rejected the Ministry of Health's decision to increase drug prices by 10% for each local pharmaceutical company and 15% for the imported drugs to solve the crisis of drug shortages in pharmacies. In an emergency meeting, the companies demanded a 50% price increase on 15% of drugs produced by domestic companies and the same percentage for 20% of the imported drugs. The spokesperson for the Central Administration of Pharmaceutical Affairs within the Health Ministry, Yassin Ragai, said that the ministry has not made any final decisions on raising the price of any specific items yet, as the issue is still under study. Meanwhile, Egypt's pharmacist syndicate reiterated that their partial strike scheduled for mid-January will still go ahead, despite pressure on them to backtrack on their decision. Since the flotation of the Egyptian pound in November last year, a crisis has erupted due to a shortage in essential drugs and the price increase of medications. An urgent General Assembly of the Pharmacist Syndicate voted on the 23rd of December for a partial closure of pharmacies from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for 2 weeks starting from the 15th of January against what they called the random pricing policy. The syndicate said in its statement that they are not calling for increasing their profit margin to 30%. They are only calling to implement the Health Ministry decree that was backed by a court verdict that put the profit margin for pharmacists at 25% for local medications and 18% for imported medications. It added that price rises will not help provide the medicines, as they expect the manufacturing companies to select certain types of medicines highly demanded to make more profits. The syndicate also claimed the pharmaceutical companies and medicine stores have abstained from disturbing medications because they are waiting for the implementation of the price increase decision set for February.
Dr. Ayman Abu Layla, of course, we'd like to thank you very much talking to Egypt's Parliament, Vice President, Health Committee inside the Parliament. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Best of luck in your committee. And this is where we end this edition of Egypt's Parliament. Many thanks to all of you. And until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.